Alrighty. I want to thank you all for attending my journal presentation, Brother Take, um, for my CIT 360 class. I really hope you like what I have to present and kind of some of the concepts and characteristics and things that I was able to develop over while uh, being a part of your class and learning the different aspects of it. So something that I strongly kind of believe in, and especially with courses in BYU, is I feel like every class should kind of strengthen your character. And so I just kind of want to talk about some of my additions to my character as a person and the different ways that I was able to develop as a person, not only in my skill set, but in but in characteristics that I'm able to add to myself in a way. Um, in regards to programming directly, I've always had pretty strong confidence in my ability to problem solve. And something that I've always kind of enjoyed about programming in general is that it really stretches my ability to have to creatively think how to solve different problems, because a lot of times by solving a problem you create several different other problems. And it's always been something interesting to me because I've always been someone of a kind of a black and white nature that, you know, I always want my answer or my solution to a problem to be the correct one or the most correct one. And in programming, that's not always the case due to the creative outlet that lies within programming. Um, and that something that I kind of learned due to watching Brother Barney's videos and learning the different concepts in this class is that there's an art and personal reflection in programming kind of in general that reflects the different personalities and behavior and the problem solving skills of every individual programmer, and that um, creation through the means of programming doesn't just require technical skills, but really to be successful, there's a lot of design, teamwork, planning, and organization that is required in order to develop something really great or really useful. So I kind of want to talk about the development process and how that kind of corresponds into developing my character and who I am through the results of being in this class. And one of the things that kind of happened halfway throughout the class is we talked about the think, create, and design, which is kind of like, I feel like it's something I've heard before fairly frequently in regards to developing anything, really, not just programming. And so I felt that I had a pretty strong grasp of what this actually meant. Um, but over time, I think that as I was able to kind of continue through my process of how to create the different applications that I needed to do, and in order to develop my understanding portfolio, I really had to kind of relearn certain aspects of this concept. And one of the things is that the ability to design, the ability to organize these things doesn't have to come from a previous knowledge of how that is supposed to function or how that is supposed to work. Rather, that your ability to create and design and make those applications can be generated amidst your project, amidst the process of doing that. And that is actually a really fundamental way of learning, is that by developing or learning how or trying to develop these different things, you're actually able to create your understanding of them proactively and as you go along. And so something that kind of dawned on me as I was doing this is like, well, how can I be really effective at performing my learning, at creating my knowledge in regards to um, generating these understanding portfolios and making this project. And something that when I think about trying to analyze something, or when I'm trying to see the value in something, I want to look at the evidence. I want to look at the records. I want to look at the data. And having taken business intel and analytics, I had to think of how can I effectively store and record and um, contain my data. And so, so that it can be effectively not only used by me, but by my peers and by my team so that they can actually utilize it as well. And so something that, kind of changing pace here, along with the development or the development process, a characteristic I think that was really important for me to kind of understand and develop the intricacies of was leadership. Um, you know, leadership and having a leader, as well as the characteristics of what a leader needs to be. Something I think that is really important for a leader is support of your teammates, and being able to give them the proper motivation they need to accomplish the task, as well as being an example to them, showing them the way in which these tasks can be completed. In our project, we actually had Olin Hodges in our group, who was a really effective leader. I think he really helped us be organized and really helped us know and what to do, and was never short of giving us praise when we accomplished those things. I think in addition to that, receiving and giving guidance in those specific situations is also a critical skill. When you receive guidance, it's important to listen and understand and to know what is being communicated. In addition to, when you're giving guidance, to be able to communicate effectively. So for our leadership and in our group, we had a name called Third Time's the Charm for our community, which kind of represented who we were, I guess. And so I kind of want to talk about the team in general and kind of the different things that I saw and the things that I learned. Something that I think is kind of important and kind of something that I came to understand really effectively is that team members are essential to any project or job, or for that matter. We're not in a job, we're in a class, and we're all together being unified in a project, and each member was pretty essential to the success of this project. And something that I felt that we've really performed really well in is that we were all kind of unified and all kind of together on the project, and everyone had the same expectations. And I believe that everyone basically met and had performed to expectations, based on the meetings that we were all attending. And so I was for every meeting except for two. And basically most of us, when it came right down to it, as far as meeting our expectations, if you weren't there at the meeting, it was really well known that you were responsible for learning the information that you needed to do in order to be ready for the next meeting. And I felt like that was something that everyone performed really well at. There was only a couple of us that really attended every meeting, but even if you had missed, I think the communication was there and was developed enough that we were able to continue a forward path in developing our project, and it was like 80% complete. So as far as like the team interactions during the meeting and the experience that I had with them, I think they were really good on one hand. I think we communicated well, and using the tools that we had, being video chats and for the most part Google chats and text documents, I think we communicated on a very high level. Some improvements that I kind of thought that could have happened throughout my interactions with my team members is I felt we were kind of limited on our communication in some aspects. We only met once a week and kind of had general email updates or chat updates when projects were completed. And I felt like that was kind of the inhibiting factor to what made us go from not having a fully completed project 100% to just having a project that was 80% complete, which I think is is still admirable, honestly. I think we accomplished a lot for what we did, and I felt, because of the limitations that we had in communication, something that I learned was that being able to communicate effectively is really, really important. Um, and there's two kind of different concepts that I think go into being an effective communicator. One would be to have a full comprehension of what you're communicating, or the message that you're displaying, not in terms of how you understand it, but how your message will be received by others. And in addition to that, when you're being communicated to, it's important not to only understand it in the aspects of how you would like to respond, but in how that correlates to your topic. And by doing so, and I think we did this, relatively well, um, you save a lot of time going around the boundaries of, you know, trying to understand what each other is really saying in regards to what's expected and how we're supposed to perform our certain tasks. Um, in regards to team communication and leadership, um, I think something that was a characteristic that I was able to develop in this class specifically was instilling confidence in myself. I had the experience, partway through the semester that someone had not taken an object-oriented 2, CIT 260, and so they had instead taken a computer science class, and so they didn't really have a whole lot of experience working with Java or NetBeans. And when it came time to do assignments, they reached out to me for help and things like that because I had already previously taken those classes. And I had to kind of overcome myself a little bit in a different way to be able to understand, because I had taken the course, a little while ago and didn't completely remember all those things, but I had to try to be confident in my ability to be able to teach this person and to show them how it was that I was performing this task and teach them in a way that they could replicate it. So in in instilling confidence in myself, I kind of just had to do it. I had to clear my mind of doubt and I had to take action and I had to perform regardless of how confident I felt in my abilities. And I think that was something that instilled confidence in my ability not only to teach, but in my ability to program as well, and in the concepts that I was actually learning, and that I had learned previously, and that I could continue to learn and teach these subjects. Something that I had to battle with quite frequently was procrastination. And I think procrastination in regards to instilling confidence tend to pull at each other quite a lot. When you're unconfident, I think it's very easy to procrastinate because you simply just don't know where to start. Uh, and so, as a part of overcoming procrastination, I think instilling confidence in yourself to be able to have the confidence in, just doing it, just developing whatever application you need to do, to start writing whatever code you need to do, or to just start reading, and gain the knowledge. And I think in addition to this, a key organization to, or a key characteristic in overcoming procrastination, or at least dealing with procrastination, is being organized and having organization in your documents and in your life. Um, and I think there's a lot of different benefits that come from organization that relate to procrastination. And specifically, I think organization really saves time in a lot of different ways, on the front end of a project. So because you are organized, you're able to find documents and find bits of code that you want to utilize for, your journals and your understanding portfolios, and you're not spending time looking for those things. Um, which I think in a lot of ways reduces stress. And something that I was very pleased with is that I felt less stressed than some of my teammates in regards to how I was going to do in this class, simply just because I was already organized and I felt like I could throw together what I needed to in a timely manner, even if I had procrastinated a little bit. So I think one of the most important characteristics or things that I was able to really develop in this class is being proactive. There's a quote by Stephen Covey that I've actually posted on here. It says, if you're proactive, you don't have to wait for circumstances or other people to create perspective, expanding experiences. You can consciously create your own. So being proactive and these kind of thoughts, I think, are actually a very common thing in our church. You know, the idea of being anxiously engaged in a good cause, I think, is incredibly important to our field for a variety of reasons. One being, I think, is that it helps you deal with change, and change is something that's really constant in our field. I'm sorry for that. But so because change is so constant, it really helps to be proactive in your learning and be proactive in the tasks that you're trying to develop and the different projects that you are assigned. As well as it helps you not, you know, it's kind of the antithesis of procrastination in a way. And because being proactive allows you to create the perspective of your expanding experiences, allows you to create the different circumstances that come before you rather than waiting for life to create these experiences around you. And by doing this, it makes you self-sufficient. It makes you unreliant on anyone else but yourself. And I think that's actually a really key aspect and a really important characteristic that I think our Heavenly Father and wants of you, not only so that you can be, you know, a successful disciple of Him, but it also allows you to be self-sufficient in your workspace. That because you are proactive in your learning and because you are proactive in doing your tasks and because you are proactive in adding value to our company, you are much less susceptible to having the changes that come your way be negative. You're able to shape your future, I guess, in a way. And I think that's really important in regards to, you know, our field, and something that I'm currently and have been developing throughout this class and has really helped me grow as a person, I think, because I've been able to develop how to respond proactively, not only to the things that happen in my life, but to the things and tasks that I currently know I have to do. In conclusion, I'd like to just say that I really enjoyed this class, mainly for the fact of the different things that I think I was able to gain from it. I think that this method of teaching, that the idea that you have to be proactive in your learning and that you have to reach out and learn the different concepts yourself and apply them to, you know, a real world project that's there before you is really inspired. I feel inspired by it, really, because I think it has applicability to what I'll be doing in the future. You know, I have been looking for internships and been looking for job opportunities for a long time now, and you know, I really look forward to being able to develop these skills, not only in the job, but to have the skills that I already have developed add value to their company. I do have a working opportunity here this summer, and I really hope to be able to apply these principles and to expand my learning in that opportunity. And I just hope that, you know, what I've learned and what I have gained and what I've contributed to the class is enough for me to pass. I know that my grade isn't the greatest right now, but I don't necessarily think that's completely reflective of of what I've been able to learn and develop. But so I really hope you like this presentation, Brother Tuckett, and I hope you're doing well and hope you have a great day.